Hey DKI, thanks for joining me. Ken Copeland here, Director of Business Development with DKI Pro Supply, and today we're talking insurance. We've got with us Ross Driscoll Jr., Vice President of National E&S Insurance Brokers. Some of you might know him from Driscoll and Driscoll. How you doing today, Ross?
Great, great. Can't complain.
Awesome.
Out here in California, we've been quarantined since March, since I've just let the beard go and probably not looking as insurance professional as usual, but haven't had any conventions to go to. So
And,
uh,
and that is quite the quarantine beard, if I might say so myself. You've done
I
well.
was this close to cutting it for you, man. Last night, my kids said, "Don't do it, Dad. I love it." So
Yeah, I mean, at Christmas time, you can bleach it out and be Santa Claus, right?
I've heard that. Yeah, I got a couple whites in there already. We can make that happen.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me a little bit about National E&S Brokers and Driscoll and Driscoll and how the whole thing changed and why the changes took place and actually what changed with you guys.
Okay. So National E&S, we are a wholesale insurance broker, also known as a surplus lines broker. We support retail agents all over the country, specializing in environmental, construction, energy, but we've really built our business being fully dedicated to the fire water restoration
Right.
industry. So growing up, my father was a restoration contractor after the 1994 Northridge earthquake. So we certainly understand the industry and how to speak the language. So local retail agents need to reach out to a wholesale broker to write policies such as the general liability pollution professional, the excess liability, occasionally for auto or for workers' comp. And they're relying on the expertise of their wholesaler, where many just don't specialize in restoration. So, but Driscoll and Driscoll, on the other hand, that's our legacy retail agency where we support restoration contractors directly all over the country if they don't already have a strong agency that they're working with.
Okay.
So the
So
point is
so
that we
you
can help either way, giving the restoration contractor options for their risk management. And as the largest writer of fire water restoration contractors in the country, we are a unique resource for DKI and its members. And the last I checked, I think we write close to a third of all the DKI members.
That's awesome. So basically, what you're saying is Driscoll and Driscoll can write the policy, or National E&S can sponsor the policy through another insurance company around the country.
Work with somebody's local agent because they got to reach out to a wholesaler anyway. So it may be as well as somebody has expertise in that.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So it's been a crazy year. So I know COVID-19 has had a huge effect on your beard. What effect has COVID-19 had on business and performing the cleaning and sanitization that's going on out there right now?
Great. Yeah. So since March, really, we've been busy as ever. From the moment that COVID-19 made its way to the US, we started going through every environmental carrier's policies to see how it would respond to COVID-19 cleaning. We quickly realized that the key was having virus in the definition of pollutants. Now, so in every policy, the definitions are one of the most important pieces. And every carrier's policy may have different definitions of what things read. So currently, there's only 3 carriers that are even underwriting for COVID-19 that will give you a positive grant of coverage. So there's a couple carriers that are quote unquote silent, but with something like this, you certainly want to make sure that the coverage is there and that it's going to respond if you had a lawsuit. So many carriers recently have added COVID-19 exclusions or communicable disease exclusions and have zero intention of covering a claim. And we've been hearing that, water losses, reconstruction, a lot of that has slowed down in certain parts of the country. So with restoration contractors still looking to make some money, they've jumped into COVID-19 cleaning. And for those who already had biohazard experience, they have been the best fit to do this type of cleaning.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that the contractors need to consider when performing the COVID-19 cleanings?
Yeah. So first, the key is reading the definition of pollutants. If virus isn't in the definition of pollutants, you got to look for a new carrier.
Okay.
With such a limited marketplace, and I mentioned there's only 3 carriers, there's a few things that they want to see. The first is experience. So biohazard, trauma, crime scene, anything to do with bloodborne pathogens is ideal. They also want to see what your procedures and your protocols are. I've seen some really strong procedures and protocols. There's a number of environmental consultants and trainers out there that can help with creating these. But I think the most important piece, in my opinion, is a strong contract work authorization agreement specific to COVID-19. So this is a huge sticking spot for many of the carriers. They simply won't give you a positive grant of coverage for virus without having a good contract. So of course, this doesn't stop a contractor from being named in a lawsuit, but if they have this contract, the defense is certainly going to, rely on that if there's a lawsuit. So Ed Cross, many people know him. He's the top restoration attorney. In my opinion, he has the best contract I've read. And we actually have something on a landing page on his site. If you go to edcross.com/national E&S, you can buy his contract and get a discount if you go through that landing page. So with this being so new and a lot of unknowns still, some of the carriers have changed their policies from being non-auditable to auditable just to ensure that, they're getting enough premium to justify the exposure.
Right. And when you talk about protocols, we have a company as part of DKI. We have G2 is a DKI company. It's an environmental consultant that could help with the protocols. And we've actually put some protocols together. So there's definitely some great things that you bring up there.
Perfect.
So how's the insurance market performing overall? Are you anticipating increases in premiums, and what's that looking like next year?
Yeah, so overall, the market has been firming up. So for the last 3 to 4 years, we've definitely seen huge rate increases, mostly in auto, as well as some in property, depending on where you are in the country. But there's certainly less capacity out there, and there's hardly any carriers that are looking to write monoline auto coverage. Now, in the environmental world, the market still has been pretty soft, where restoration contractors have likely been seeing rate decreases for years. But now they're starting to see some rate increases a little bit. There's in the last 2 years, there's been 3 or 4 pretty prominent carriers that have completely pulled out of the restoration space, which has then made the remaining carriers, give them reason to want to reevaluate their own books of business. And with everything going on due to COVID-19, we've quickly seen carriers become less profitable than they have been historically. And another thing you may not realize, but carriers also buy insurance on insurance to make sure that they don't go under if there's a catastrophic loss. So this is called reinsurance.
Okay.
And reinsurance rates have also been on the rise. So if you combine all this, I think that we will start to see the overall insurance market continue to harden.
What about the TPAs? What are you seeing with them?
Yeah, I think that most folks are looking around understanding that we simply weren't ready for a pandemic, and many businesses thought they'd be able to make a business interruptions claim on their policies with state and local governments shutting everything down. And then many restoration contractors just assumed that they'd be covered for virus because they have pollution and then didn't even check. So we're at a time that everyone's starting to reevaluate their own risk management, especially the TPAs and some of the franchisors. So Alacrity, they just recently tightened up their requirements. I wouldn't be surprised to see others follow suit. And I don't think it's unquestionable that people start to want to see virus included in the requirements to making sure that everybody has that coverage as well.
Right. So Driscoll & Driscoll National E&S focuses on the restoration contractor as we spoke about. So what's coming with you guys? What's the next step? What's your future look like?
Well, we got some new things coming out. We got an exciting exclusive program that's going to be available here soon. I can't talk about it too much, but I will say as contractors are looking to renew their insurance, that my number one recommendation would be to be proactive, start early on your renewals. If you've had any claims, be sure you're making those steps to mitigate future losses from happening, and do as much training as possible. Really, I think safety needs to be the part of the culture of everyone's company. And if you can demonstrate safety and that it's part of your culture, the carriers that are looking to write you may be more aggressive to want to earn your business.
So, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, it's all about CYA and making sure you have everything in place to cover yourself if something does happen, but also do everything you can to prevent things from happening. It's It almost seems like common sense, but people don't always live by that common sense rule now, do they?
Yeah, sometimes just need a little reminder.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and we're
That's right.
so busy, everything going on. It's hard, especially things come down to the wire oftentimes.
Yeah. So how can our members benefit from introducing National E&S to a local agent?
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So I mentioned that many restoration contractors work with local agents, and oftentimes they work with them because they're getting referrals, right? So still, those agents may not have the expertise in the restoration industry. And so, like I said, retail agents have to go to a wholesale broker for many of the policies that restoration folks need to be compliant. And so we're happy to be that resource. And oftentimes that I work with a new agent, not only are we going to find a way to broaden and enhance their coverage, but we generally are going to save them some money as well. So it's a win-win for everyone. You get to keep your local agent and then also have that peace of mind knowing that you're going to have the best coverages available.
Awesome. Well, Ross, thank you very much for meeting with me today. I mean, you've really answered a lot of questions. I think you made insurance a little more simple, a little more understandable for for a lot of people. So thank you very much. You guys are a great partner to DKI. I've been in the Pro Supply program for a long time. So for you DKI members watching this video, if you don't deal with the insurance, if you're not the CFO or the owner, please forward this video on to them. Let Driscoll and Driscoll take a look at what you do, or National E&S, kind of take a look at your programs and see if maybe they can save you some money and get you, make sure that you're covered the way you need to be covered. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.